gonna record me?
Yes.
Well, you gonna be flashbanging us, bro?
You're flashing.
How do we look? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, this is getting posted.
Okay. Alright.
Alright, go. Super scary. All in. No holding back. Sound effects.
Alright. Okay. There's these three friends, right? Jimmy, Gerald, and Jake. Jimmy has been planning this trip for over a month. Gerald's just the guy who's like, when we going? Where we going? Alright, I'll be there. He doesn't give a damn, as long as you just let him know when and where. Jake's all about safety. Jake is making sure he's got some Halo. Jake's making sure he's got Band-Aids. Jake's even making sure they got Neosporin, right? They all get together because they live in a small town named Jericho, alright? In Jericho, the population 500. Their school system don't even have schools to go against each other. But they're high schoolers. Well, all three of them are juniors.
How old is a junior?
Huh?
How old is a junior?
A junior's 17. 16, 17. 6, 7. Anyways. Gerald and Jake. Was it Jaden, Gerald, and Jake? I'm pretty sure it was Jaden, Gerald, and Jake, right?
Gerald. Jake.
Yes, it was. Okay. So, Jaden's the one that came up with the plans, correct? He tells them, let's meet at our school. Jaden gets there. Jake gets there. They're like, where's Gerald? They call Gerald, but not with a phone, with a walkie-talkie. This is in around 1980. Alright, that's where this takes place. That's why they're riding bikes, and they're about to go camp in the woods. Jake and Jaden are like, we told Gerald to meet here at 3 p.m. Why isn't he here yet? They called Gerald the walkie-talkie. Shh, yo. You said you were gonna come to the high school, and we said, shh, over. Shh, no response. Jaden says, let me try. Maybe your walkie's just malfunctioning. Shh, yo, Gerald. Get your butt down here, bro. We're not waiting. We're gonna leave you. Over. Shh. And all of a sudden, shh, yo, guys, wait, I just woke up. Dude, my alarm didn't go off, dude. I'll be there 1 second, dude. Jaden and Jake are like, bro, this is Gerald. This is Gerald. They sit there and wait for a whole hour. Gerald finally pulls up. And they say, yo, Gerald, did you make sure to bring the stuff? It's like, what was I supposed to bring? They're like, bro, the marshmallows. I brought chocolate. Alright, well, now we gotta go to the corner store and get marshmallows because you forgot it. Because, mind you, his house is the farthest from the school. So they're just gonna go hit up the gas station. They go into the gas station. Ding! Hey, welcome in. Soda doors on the back. Y'all are under 21. Beer's in the corner. And if you're looking to go camping, marshmallows are right there. They grab the marshmallows, ring it up. He says, what are y'all planning to do today? They're like, oh, we're about to go camping. He says, why? They're like, because there's woods and you can go camping. What you mean, why? He says, you weren't told? They're like, told what? We're just going to go camping real quick. It's only going to be 3 nights max. Alright. Did you tell your parents you love them? Jaden's looking at Jake like, what is this fool talking about? And Gerald says, yo. Shut up. Shut up. Just give us the marshmallows, bro. I'm trying to go. He's like, alright. He gives them the marshmallows. Ching, ching, ching. They leave. Right, they back on bicycles. They go into the woods. They head about 5 miles to this huge cliff. Of course, they're not going to go on the cliff, but they're at the bottom of the cliff, and it's nice. Pine trees, river, rocks, good camping spot. They set up their camping. They have a total of 2 tents. Jaden's going to be one. Gerald and Jake are going to be in the other. Jaden, of course, says, hey, if y'all ever want to swap to have y'all's own tent, just let me know. They say, okay. Their plans to go fishing one day and swimming. Next day, go hiking. Last day is their day to head back. So they spend the night there, go to sleep. Gerald wakes up. Jaden's not in the tent. Gerald heads out. Yo, Jaden! Where are you? Crickets. Flies. Bzzz. Hey! The crackling of the fire. Jake opens his tent. Yo, Gerald! Go to sleep. Yo! I don't know where Jaden's at. Are you sure? Yeah. He's not in the tent. Alright, well, let's go find him. They head out, right? Some snaps break. Some leaves fly in the air. They're looking for him for a good 5 minutes. They're starting to freak out. They're like, hey, did we check the river? And Gerald say, did we check the river? Dude, we've been together the whole time. Did we check the river? Oh, no, we didn't. Okay, let's go check the river. You know, Gerald's the type to be like, bro, you're being dumb. Anyway, Jake and Gerald decide to go check the river. They see Jaden. Jaden is sitting on his knees as if he's bowing at the water. And mind you, he's just doing this, not moving. Gerald goes up, touches him on the shoulder. Yo. Jaden looks at Gerald and Jake and says, yo, what's up? Jake says, yo, you good? And Gerald says, dude, are you good? Jaden says, yeah, I'm good. Why? What's up? Jake is looking at Gerald like, bro, is he alright? And Gerald looks at Jaden and says, yo, cut the crap, bro. You was sitting down, kneeled down at the water for the whole time we walked over here. And you supposed to believe that you were taking a sip? Jaden says, yes, bro, I was just taking a sip. The water looks really clear. Alright, bro, whatever. They head back to the camp. They go back to bed. They wake up in the morning. They're getting their fishing rods and getting ready to go back out. Because, you know, it's morning. They're about to go out. They check their luggage. And they realize their fishing rods are gone except one. They don't know where the other two went. They don't know if they left it. They don't know if they lost it on the way over there. They don't know if it fell out on the bicycle ride. But they still decided to go fishing. A couple hours later, they caught nothing. Gerald is furious at Jaden because Gerald wants to blame that Jaden didn't do nothing. Because what was Jaden doing? Staring at the water. Jake, on the other hand, was trying to fish, and so was Gerald. Jake almost caught a fish, but decides to let go of the fishing rod, and now they don't even have a fishing rod anymore. So Gerald's just furious because he thinks that he did everything. Mind you, he didn't even touch the rod. They head back to camp. This time, they want to roast marshmallows. They're roasting marshmallows, and they start hearing movement in the woods. But just some regular movement. Could be deer. Could be a wolf. Could be a lion. You never know, right? They're about to go to sleep. They eat a couple marshmallows, get a couple stickiness on their feet. This time, Jaden and Jake are sleeping in the tent, the big tent together. Gerald's just gonna sleep in the small one. Mind you, Gerald is not a deep sleeper. He wakes up by a crack of a stick. Gerald's sleeping. Gerald wakes up. Gerald opens his tent. He sees Jake and Jaden holding hands, trying to get out of their tent, sneaking off. Gerald says, yo, what are we doing? I didn't know y'all were gay. They look at him and was like, oh, bro, no. Jaden tripped. I was just helping him up. Jake says, yeah. Gerald looks at them and says, you tripped? Jaden says, yes. Then why are y'all both standing up straight, walking off, still holding hands? Jake says, I didn't want to fall again. I was making sure that neither one of us fell. Judd says, whatever, bro. Where are y'all going? He says, oh, no. We thought we heard some ruffling in the grass. We're just going to go check it out. Judd says, whatever, bro. You want some help? They say, nah, we're just going to go check it out real quick and we'll be back. Judd goes back to sleep. Judd wakes up. Mind you, there's birds chirping. The sun looks like it's almost noon. Almost noon. He's like, bro, we were not supposed to sleep in this much. We're supposed to go hiking. Gerald checks their tent. There's no one there. Gerald's like, did they seriously go hiking without me? He checks the bags. There's no bags. He checks his tent. He sees that his shoes are still there, and his one bag with a couple clothes is still there, and water. He decides, I don't know where they are, but I'm going to get my trail shoes on. So he puts on his shoes, gets his water, puts on his bag. Because he doesn't want to leave it in case, other campers come by. He leaves his tent, zips up their tent, and starts hiking over to the river. He goes to the river, and he sees them kneel down at the river. He says, Jade and Jake, what are y'all doing? They say, oh, we're just getting some water, bro. What's up? They try dabbing him up. And Jed says, no, you're not gonna, no, I'm not, no. Why aren't y'all just drinking water from y'all's water bottles? That's what y'all brought. They say, oh, we couldn't find them this morning. Jaden says, yeah. Did you find your water bottle? We would have took some of yours. Jake says, yeah, we were wondering where your water bottle was. Jaden says, well, it was in my tent, if y'all care to wake me up. Jaden says, oh, my bad. Well, y'all ready to go hiking? Yeah. They start hiking. Nothing really happened on their hike. Saw a few deers, saw a few butterflies, got bit by a snake. Bit by a snake? Yeah, Gerald got bit by the snake on the foot. Jaden and Jake said it's okay. It's an offering. Gerald thinks, what are y'all talking about? Offering. Shut up. Mind you, the snake wasn't that venomous. It only just left a huge lump. That was the size of a baseball. They head back to camp. This time, Gerald don't want to roast no marshmallows. Jaden and Jake say, "Hey, don't worry, bro. We'll do the marshmallows. Don't worry about it. We're just gonna eat. You can go to bed." So Gerald heads over to his camp, starts going to sleep. And they start hearing some. Gerald wakes up hearing ruffling, hearing some scratching, hearing some noises. He wakes up, he's like, what's that sound? It starts getting louder. It's as if it's a hammer. He goes outside, wonders what it is, and it's a huge cross. He's like, when did y'all make this? What are y'all doing? Gerald and Jake are both still working on the cross. Gerald walks out, sees that they're just working on the cross. Mind you, he's tired, so he wants to go slap some water on his face at the river. So he goes over to the river, splashes some water on his face, and gets knocked out. A day goes by. Gerald's mom crazy. Gerald's mom calls Jaden's mom and says, "Where is my son?" Jaden's mom says, "I don't know, we're busy." Hangs up. Gerald calls Jake's mom. "Have you heard from Jaden and Gerald or Jake?" She says, "No." "Have you?" "No." They start searching the city. Not city. They start searching their little town of 500 people. How could you get lost in a little town of 500 people? They end up asking every family member. They start doing a whole town looking. They go to the one gas station with that one man. And they say, "Hey, have you seen our kids?" And he says, "Yep." They said, Where are they?" They went hiking and camping. She says, "Why would you let them go?" He says, "I told them to tell you that they love y'all." That man ends up getting arrested from the police. They have to now start checking the woods. They check the woods to find Gerald hanged from a cross with his guts all over the floor. Jaden and Jake kneel down with their throats sliced. Breaking news. In a town with 500 population, 2 boys were sacrificed and 1 boy was crucified due to there being an unknown spirit in the woods of a small town. Damn.
Hey, this is what happens after we tell scary stories. We start messing with each other before bed as if it's all a joke. Now we scared. We heard some sounds. Oh, it's time to go night night. The video didn't show, but we're all sleeping together. We're a team. Hoorah.
We died together.
We died together. No, we fight together. What are you talking about? No one's dying.
I'm sorry to tell you, but we
Gerald's getting us.